Hello, it's Dawn Michelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you a little bit about how I've been working with the 78 Tarot Magical and the Fool's Items Oracle, both by the collaborative effort at 78 Tarot. Now, full disclosure, both of these decks were sent to me for review a couple of months ago, and I have been working with them, trying to get a good sense of them and how they will work in my collection. So let me just first off, out the gate, I did not know this deck existed, and how I didn't know that this deck, and this deck existed is beyond me, because this is absolutely everything I adore. In the guidebook, they even talk about creating a deck based on fantasy worlds, D&D, all of that good stuff together. So I do want to just mention that the 78 tarot decks, the way that that collaborative effort works is they are all limited runs. So that means that they are only available for a short time. So definitely be aware of that when you are looking to purchase these decks. I have a couple of them now, another one that was sent to me for review and one that I purchased myself. So definitely be aware of that once they're kind of gone, they're gone. And I just want to make sure that I'm really, really clear about that from the get-go. So had I known this deck existed, had I been paying attention in the tarot world, I would have backed this deck on Kickstarter and done the whole 9 yards, because this is an amazing creation. If you are any sense of a sort of fantasy lover, D&D nerd, anything sort of Lord of the Rings, D&D, I'm trying to think, I'd say Game of Thrones, but there is a Game of Thrones tarot. This kind of embodies like a whole world of that kind of stuff all in one deck. Now, let's just address the elephant in the room. I have said many times on my channel that I am not a fan of decks that use multiple artists and that have, collaborative art decks, if I could think of a better way to say that. I've rehelmed many decks that have had decks by various artists in them, and it has never really worked out for me. They always felt pretty disconnected, and like the art was an afterthought to the deck. Now, this deck, or I should say the decks by 78 Tarot, are intended to be a collaborative effort. So they are intended to cultivate this world through the lens of 78 different artists. And knowing that going in, knowing that that is the intention behind this deck, means that even though the art styles are completely different from card to card, I still have absolutely no trouble working with this deck. That does not bother me at all, because for one, I know it going in, and two, I feel like this wasn't just random works of art thrown together to cultivate a deck to just get out into the world. This was lovingly created. And I feel like that energy very much comes through these cards. So I just want to address those kind of few disclaimery things right from the get-go. Let's talk about a few things that I'm not wild about with this deck. The back is beautiful. That doesn't hurt my feelings any. You all know how I feel about super shiny gilding, not my favorite. And these cards are massive. So they are very, very large tarot cards, which means they are quite difficult for me to shuffle. I can't actually get my hands around them to riffle. So I kind of have to do this sort of side waterfall thing, which isn't really my favorite, just again, in all honesty. I tend to just kind of try to side shuffle it in small batches like this. So this one is the 78 Tarot Magical. So this is the tarot deck. I really, really enjoy the artwork. I love the world. It's like, for me, it's just all about this is every fantasy video game I've ever played, book I've read, movie I've watched, all combined into one absolutely gorgeous deck. This card just about broke my heart when I saw it. It has all of the sort of MMO, World of Warcraft, D&D sort of vibes in it that just every time I see it, it makes me happy. It just makes my day. So I'm going to touch upon quickly the Oracle deck before I move into really showing you how I've been working with these two decks together. So this again is a limited edition. This is the Fool's Items Oracle, which is all about things you would find in your quest bag for the most part. Okay. So the matching backs, fantastic. The chocolatey kind of brown gilding here, I mean, it's kind of phenomenal. Again, I don't really like it using it, but it looks beautiful. Again, these are all really cool things that you would find in your quest bag. So we have sigils, we have salt, we have quill. Well, a portal you wouldn't necessarily have in your bag, although there are some portals that will shrink and fit in your bag. So, I mean, plants, well, the moon. Okay, so you can't really put that in your bag, but like you can access it, right? So these are kind of like, I guess, things you put in your bag, but also things that could support you on your quest. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to put your familiar in your bag, but you could. There's a frog, a cat, a bunny. Apparently they're all together. Anyway, yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy it. This one, because, you know, there's not as many cards. It's not as chunky as a tarot. I can almost, I mean, it's rough, but I can almost riffle it. And like, technically you're not supposed to riffle gilded decks, so like, shame on me for doing that in the first place. But I have been working with them together. I have played with them both separately, actually more this one than the tarot separately, and I do want to kind of touch upon that as well. So I pull an oracle card, and we got the familiar bunny. I mean, we can get into the guidebook, right? Totally get into the guidebook. There is 2 guidebooks, you know, one for each of the decks, which are fantastic. These are, you know, beautiful, full color. Oh, look at that. It's like that bunny just wanted to come out and play. So we have a lovely little message about the card, and then we have sort of a divinatory. So, you know, drawing the familiar bunny, you're reminded of your connection to the earth and the soil, and to every plant, tree, and shrub, the fundamental link that exists between you and nature. So I love that. It's great messages in these guidebooks, and I've definitely worked with them quite a bit as well. So I pull my card for, this is what's going to assist me on my journey today. I love adding a sort of game element, play element to my readings. That's something I've definitely been working on cultivating a little bit more of. This is such a fun one to do for like a daily check-in. I really enjoy it. And then I pull 2 tarot cards around it. So we've got the Lovers and the Chariot. Some interesting energy there with our familiar bunny. And so that just gives me kind of like, you know, your basic, here's what I need to know today. Here's my focus, and here's my 2 cards to kind of give me some context around that focus. So maybe I need to be making that connection to that earth energy through my familiar, and I need to be harnessing that and putting that out into motion, right? Doing something with it. This little 3-card reading here in this sense has been, you know, kind of the main way that I've been working with these 2 decks. I just think they work really, really well together in this sense, and I love the energy. So we have plants. Maybe that might be the energy that we tap into. And let's just pull 2 more tarot. So we've got the 3 of Swords with some plants. Maybe there needs to be some healing going on today. And some 4 of Swords. So, you know, maybe taking some time off. Doing a little bit of healing, giving ourselves the space we need to grow. And it's such a fun way to work with that sort of 3-card, here's my focus and here's what I need to know about it, through that sort of fantastical D&D kind of gamer, I guess, lens. If I had had these decks when I did my Gamer Heart Happy video, my gamer video collection, I would have definitely included them. Let's just do a quick little sort of pairing here with the oracle in the middle and our tarot on either side, just so you can kind of see how these decks work together. So we have the amulet in the middle here with the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess. Then we have altar with Judgment and the 2 of Swords. Quite interesting. I really do like the way that these decks work together. I think they complement each other really well. Sorry, I know everybody hates when you stick your hands in front of the camera and, or, you know, shift the cards around. These decks work really beautifully together. This potion card is phenomenal. Love it. So we have the potion between the Chariot and the 4 of Cups. Beautiful. The 3 of Cups, the Lovers with salt in the middle. Just do a couple more of these and then we'll move on so I can show you some more things. The Akashic Record with the Devil and the Eight of Cups, that would be an indication that, wow, there's some stuff you need to work on, like maybe some karmic healing that needs to happen there. But it's really cool. I think it works really well. Ooh, there's our familiar bunny again. So yeah, using them in this 3-card configuration together has been really fantastic. Lots of fun. I will be honest that I do tend to just keep these down to 3 cards when I'm working with these 2 decks together, because again, like I said, they are quite large, which makes them kind of difficult to work with. But you know, if I just focus on these few cards, there's so much going on in these cards. There's so many details. This artwork is beautiful. It's intricate. And I get a lot from these messages. I really can just pull a few cards and get a really nice, deep reading. It's been a really, really fun experience to get to know this deck. Wish I would have known about it sooner. Probably means I need to pay more attention to what's going on in terms of new decks and all that. But I think overall they're really, really beautiful. So let me show you a few other things that I've done with this particular these particular decks. So sometimes what I like to do, because we do have a variety of artwork here, sometimes I like to go ahead and do my sort of like, I'm gonna let the Oracle deck decide the card in a sense, or decide the cards, meaning that I'm going to pull an oracle at random. So we have Altar. That's funny because I have that. They sent me a postcard with that picture on it, and I have it in my planner. And then what I'll do is I'll actually go through the tarot deck and I will handpick, not looking at the titles, handpick 2 cards on either side that I feel like match the energy of that. So maybe I might pick the guide there, and I'm feeling like the Ace of Cups, she matches, right? And maybe even this isn't the best because I'm like doing this real quick. This also gives me the opportunity to, again, get to know the cards in this deck. In fact, maybe even this one with the 4 of Pentacles feels even more like it fits in this realm. So you can do this as a way to actually play with your decks as well, and to kind of get your message through letting the Oracle kind of set the tone, the stage. Let's pull another one. There's that potion bottle, and that one also has a rune on it, which is really cool. So I would look through my deck and what do I feel like fits the energy of that. And this is something that you can really only do with a deck that has this sort of collaborative artwork, right? I'm feeling that 3 of Pentacles feels like it exists in that world. And then maybe I'm feeling this 8 of Pentacles too. So it allows you to kind of have that sort of, that oracle guide. You know, I did that spread a while back about letting your oracle decks kind of determine the tarot decks that you're going to use. But in this sense, the oracle deck is actually determining the tarot cards, because I'm going through and I'm finding cards that fit the energy of the oracle card, and that is creating the reading itself. So yeah, maybe I'm like setting the reading up, but I'm not really looking at the titles when I do this. I'm looking at the artwork specifically, and then I will read it as a traditional 3-card reading when I'm done. So that's been another way that I've really enjoyed playing with these 2 decks together. And again, that collaborative artwork where everything is completely different really does lend itself well to that practice. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of other decks that I've been playing with the Oracle specifically, because I kind of, like, I love the tarot, but I kind of love the Oracle even more because of the things that are in it. It is very tied into that world of things that would support you in a, you know, a heroic journey, right, along your quest of life. So I have also been using my Dungeons and Dragons tarot with the Fool's Items Oracle, which has been working really, really well. Again, just kind of pulling cards to see what I need. So let's go ahead and pull another Oracle card just so you can see. I mean, I guess I could just do like the playing with pairs flip through, but this is kind of more about like how I work with it versus like just let's just take a look at the deck. So I've got the tome. So I could get into the guidebook, and I would definitely be getting into the guidebook. This one disappears in my background. That's what it looks like. How funny is that? And then I would, again, pull some cards. I like to do, it just blends right in. Sorry about that. I like to do a couple of different cards for this. So I will pull a card for either side. I got Judgment and the Moon. So maybe that's what I need to kind of be working on and studying. And then I like to pull in a pip deck, actually, because I think it works really, really well in this instance. And for this particular practice, I'm going to be using my Labyrinth Tarot. And you can see there's definitely like a theme here. I have a kind of adventurer's theme going on. So this would be like kind of that. This is my focus point, right? This is what I need to know about this tome. Maybe what I'm learning. Maybe what I'm learning is Judgment and the Moon. Maybe what I'm learning is between Judgment and the Moon. So I like to pull just 2 pip cards for the sort of what's going on beneath that. And I think a pip deck works really well for this. So we've got the Page of Poles and the 7 of junk. So we have the Page of Poles, which would be the Page of Wands, and the 7 of junk, which would be the 7 of Pentacles. So really cool. Like, it's telling me that in order to cultivate this sort of knowledge from this experience of Judgment and the Moon, I have this Page of Wands that I need to tap into, and the 7 of Pentacles, which tells me that, like, yeah, I need to get out there and I need to do the things, but I also need to be patient because learning takes time. I really, really enjoy this particular sort of playing with these. They do work really well together, just kind of, you know, doing the pulling a card and all of that. But, you know, just for fun, let's go ahead and do this little number because I think these actually do work quite well together. So again, I've got the Fool's Items Oracle in the center, and I've got the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot on the side. While I am a fan of kind of working with them in multiples like you saw me do, this is actually really quite beautiful as well, and I really enjoy working with these together. Occasionally you'll get some really interesting, like almost clashy colors going on. I mean, not these are very cohesive and very beautiful, but occasionally I've got cards going every which way, but occasionally you'll get like a really bright card. And of course, that's not going to happen here. They're all just going to match up really, really beautifully. I really enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot. Again, it's one I've talked about before. It reads really well for me, and I absolutely love pairing it with this Fool's Oracle. It just really ties into the whole energy of the deck really well. And I think that they just really kind of speak the same language, which is super cool. Okay, here's one that just maybe aesthetically doesn't necessarily line up. So we have the crystal ball in the center, but we have the 8 of charisma over here and the 2 of charisma. That's interesting. But like, you can still gain really interesting messages even when the, you know, artwork isn't like aesthetically the most pleasing thing in the world. But honestly, like, that doesn't happen, or it doesn't seem to happen very often. Like, they are really existing in the same world, and so they really mesh well together. Okay, so just for fun, let me also show you this hot mess of decks I have on my desk. No, just kidding. The pairing with the pip deck, because sometimes when you have, and I know I've mentioned this before, but when you have really detailed, beautiful, fully fleshed out illustrations in an oracle, it can be really nice to pair it with something a little bit more simple with a pip deck, because it really allows you to kind of focus in on the oracle card and then just let the pips, the tarot, be kind of like that additional layer. So it's like, this is the focal point and this is like how we're going to expand upon it. That's the additional layer that we're going for. So I think it works really well in pairing these, because the artwork is so detailed in the, I love that card, it's one of my favorite, so detailed in the Oracle deck that sometimes having those images that are a little less fleshed out. They're a little more pippy, works really well. This deck also pairs really well with the Skyrim Tarot. I mean, like I could pull out all of my nerdy pip decks and they would all go really, really well with this one. So also just real quick, want to mention that they do often have mini decks. So like to be perfectly honest, I would love something between these two sizes. This is too big, this is too small. Like just being honest here. But this is stinking adorable. Like, oh my goodness, it is so cute. I have been playing with these decks quite a bit, doing like just ridiculously large readings with them because I can, because they're itty bitty, teeny tiny. They're not foiled or anything. They're not gilded. They're just, oh look, that same card's on top. They're just little minis, which means that like you can kind of create these really gigantic readings, which is just like a lot of fun. I have picked the worst background for this video. I do apologize, but I'm not gonna re-record it. Everything is just getting lost. Oh well, hopefully you can see it well enough. I'll try to hold things up to the camera when I can. Again, super cute. It is really, I think, the same size as the, well, let me see. I have one right here. These little Lo Scarabeo mini tarots, they are larger than tarot in a tin. I guess they're a little taller. They're a little taller than the Lo Scarabeo mini decks, and they're quite a bit thicker. But they're just adorable for large readings. So one of the things that I'll do with this is I'll kind of create a line in the middle with the oracle. And this is really just me having a play. So we got essential oils. So we'll start up there. We'll just do 3. Hourglass. I think 3 should fit on here. And herbs. So I have my sort of my central line going on here. And then I like to think about, okay, so these are the things that I've got with me on my journey, right? I've got some oils, I've got thyme, and I've got herbs. Like, how great is that? So then I will use the little mini magical deck to kind of explore what I'm gonna do with these things, right? Okay, so we have the King of Wands up here with my essential oils. That's cool. We've got the Queen of Wands, funny, that we're gonna pull down here with the Hourglass, and the Knight of Wands. Did I not shuffle? Y'all saw me shuffle, right? Like, saw me shuffle. Let me shuffle again because that is an awful lot of wands. Also, like, it shuffles really cute, like it really well, like really cute. Is that a thing? It's a cute shuffle. I mean, it's kind of cute. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit of more variety, because what's up with all these wands? I mean, we have oils and herbs and thyme, so I guess like wands is fitting. Now, if I'm feeling like I really want to have a play, I will grab one of those little Lo Scarabeo decks to incorporate into this, which, like, it's just kind of fun. I mean, it's not like the best match in the world. Which I don't have at hand, the little, oh my goodness, this is going to be interesting. The, what is that deck I'm trying to think of? The Santa Morta mini is fun. It's a fun one to do this with. I don't always pull in additional mini decks, but like sometimes I just like to like play with my mini decks and create these like massively huge readings. So let's throw everything out the window and we're gonna go with the Chicoli mini. So let's pull off the top. So we've got the 2 of Wands there for our essential oils, and our King of Wands. It's a very wands heavy. Are you kidding me? The 9 with our Hourglass and our Queen. And I'm even like splitting and pulling. Okay, and the Tower. Like that's a reading. Anyway, this is really cool. It's like a 9 card. So then I have this whole thing, and again, the Chicoli really isn't like the best to probably do with it, but it actually kind of works. I really like the Santa Muerta mini with it. That's just tons of fun. Again, I don't have that at hand, and if I'd have had any forethought, I would have grabbed it out. But what I like to do is look at this as your just kind of typical 9 card reading though, where I can look at this as the current, so what's currently going on, what's above and what's below. I can also look at this as we have the past, present, future, right? There's lots of different ways that you can read this, but I really enjoy playing with these little mini decks in this way because you can create these really massive readings that are just a lot of fun. Okay, I gotta get the Santa Muerta deck out. So like while we're at it, we're just gonna like have a little mini deck play and see how that goes for us. Okay, let's do some new cards because I'm gonna do a couple things now. Some of these are well, obviously the Santa Muerta, because I keep talking about it and won't let it go, is definitely one that I've been playing with this whole combination. So I'll show you that one. So we have the cauldron. Let me show you them close up because like the background's not fabulous. I apologize. Then we have the mushrooms, really cool. And then we have the broomstick. That's interesting. So a cauldron, mushroom, and broomstick. So these are the things that I have with me on my little journey that I'm taking today. Okay, so now let's go to the 78 Tarot Magical and let's pull some cards. We have the Ace of Cups. We've definitely seen her today. Then we've got the Page of Swords. And the, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords with the broomstick. We're gonna sweep things away. Okay, now let me show you with the Santa Muerta because it's just the cutest thing ever and I think it works really well. I really like the energy of it. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle it just in case because like for whatever reason, these mini decks are just wanting to pop out cards in order. So you can see that I'm shuffling. Shuffling. Okay, I've been having quite a bit of a play with this one because this one's just fun with these ones together. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles, the Fool, and the 4 of Swords. So then this becomes, again, my little reading. I kind of tend to do, as I'm throwing little mini cards on the floor, when I'm playing with this, I tend to kind of run with the sort of idea of this is what I know, this is what is in the subconscious realm, and this is what is in the higher conscious realm. So what I know, what I don't have access to yet, and what I need to tap into. And so that's kind of how I tend to work with these together. But like, is that just not the best thing ever? It's so much fun. So much fun to play with these little mini decks. I'm gonna do one more just for a play. This, in full disclosure, is not one I've been using, but it just kind of occurred to me when I went to grab my little mini Santa Muerta that this might also be a thing too. Okay, so let's just pull 3 more. So we've got Armor, Amulet, and Mirror. Okay, so those are the things that I got with me, right? Those are the things that are gonna support me on my little journey today. And then I'm gonna pull my tarot. So we've got the 2 of Swords with our Armor. That's quite interesting. The 9 of Swords with our Amulet. And the 8 of Pentacles with our Mirror. And for this last go around, I'm gonna add in the Witch's Familiar. So these are runes. So I'm gonna add runes to this little reading. I think there's lots of different things that you could do with this type of a reading, this type of a play with these gigantic spreads and these little itty bitty decks, which are so fun. I think these are a little bit larger, but that's okay. It's still gonna work, I think. Again, I've not played with this one yet. It's just one that kind of occurred to me as I was getting out my Santa Muerta mini. So we have Nadis. Cool. Yeah, they're pretty close in size. I mean, close enough, like it doesn't have to be exact. It's close enough that it will fit within the spread. Hagalas. and Anzus. I probably slaughtered all of those, just my apologies. I do believe this is also an indie deck. It might be coming out mass market. So anyway, yeah, that's really cool. Now I've incorporated some rune work into this, which is really fun. Again, I love these mini decks for these gigantic readings, especially because like I don't have the space here to really do massive readings with full-size tarot decks, not to mention oversized decks like that. I just don't have the space for that, but this is really awesome. I really love working with the small cards. So that's a look at how I've been working with the 78 Tarot Magical and the Fool's Items Oracle, how I've been incorporating them into my practice readings that I've been doing with them. I've been using them a lot for daily check-ins, and I've been using Oracle a lot along with those other decks that I showed for kind of just tapping into the what do I kind of need to know as I go about my day. They're really great for check-ins because I just absolutely love incorporating that sort of fantasy world energy into my everyday. And so it works really well for that. And the minis have been great fun for just doing those giant readings, getting lots of cards out, lots of information, lots of decks, and then just kind of diving into, yeah, what does that mean? What do I have going on with me or for me today? So if you have these decks, I would love to know what your experiences have been with them. So please feel free to share with me in the comments below. As always, you'll find links for everything I've shown here in the description box of this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.